Ergo Proxy, the story from the anime explained, and I fixed the audio in this video. Enjoy! 5,000 years after the natural disaster on Earth, we're in year 7207, and we follow Vincent, Riel, and Pino on auto-rave with Cogito virus. We follow them on their journey as they try to find out the truth about the world and about themselves. But first of all, Vincent is a being created when Ergo Proxy lost his memories. With the help of Monad, Proxy 1 created Ergo Proxy in order to have his revenge on the creators. Riel is an imperfect clone of Monad Proxy, and the pulse of awakening has started, and Monad awakens from her coma to be with her loved one, Ergo Proxy. Furthermore, Vincent applies for citizenship in Romdo, and he works as an immigrant and hopes to get his pass. As he waits in line, he sees Riel for the first time and falls in love with her. Riel is a clone of Monad, but her and Vincent, they do not know each other. Later, they do meet during her investigation about autoraves and Cogito virus. In the first episode, Vincent, as Ergo Proxy, goes to Riel's apartment because he feels Monad in Riel and that attracts him to her, and thus we get the iconic scene in her bathroom. He is enchanted with Riel because she is what he wants to become, a human without a proxy side. Riel is afraid of him, but she is also drawn to Ergo because she is a clone of Monad. Vincent doesn't remember that this really happened and is still unaware of his proxy side. In the second episode, we see Monad running after Vincent in the mall, killing many civilians in the process. At the end of that chase, she corners Vincent and he transforms into Ergo Proxy and kills her because he cannot remember who she is. Furthermore, Monad killed Raul Creed's wife and daughter right in front of his eyes, and Raul starts losing his mind and obsessing about Vincent, who he blames for the massacre in the mall. After the pulse of awakening starts, Proxy 1 commences with his revenge on the creators by destroying everything on Earth. At the same time, Vincent, Riel, and Pino, who grew very fond of Vincent, go on a journey to Mosque, believing that they will find answers there. On that journey, Proxy 1 manipulates Vincent and tries to get him to accept his proxy side, and for him to forget about his humanity. Proxy 1 also wants Riel out of the way because she reminds Vincent of what it is like to be human. On their way to Mosque, Vincent, Riel, and Pino encounter several other proxies. The bookstore proxy, who, together with Proxy 1, they try to remind Vincent of his past. When the bookstore owner snaps his fingers, his voice changes, and then Proxy 1 is speaking. They tell him that his whole life Vincent is just an observer, that he is not truly living, which is depicted by people wearing Ergo masks. After that, they encounter a shapeshifter proxy, and after that, MCQ proxy, who forces them into a quiz show. This quiz is used by MCQ proxy to find and kill other proxies. And we see that before Vincent, he killed at least 25 other proxies, as there were 25 contestants before Vincent. At the end of that episode, which is broadcast all around the planet, he gives coordinates to where Proxy 1 is. After that episode, we also find out what happened to people who didn't get to escape on the Boomerang Star. They remained on Earth and mutated into unrecognizable creatures. On the walls of the caves, Riel, for the first time, sees how people procreate naturally, without artificial wombs. Next, Raoul, moments before being fired from his position of the security director, he launches Rapture rockets to the coordinates given by MCQ Proxy in order to have his revenge. These rockets further destroy Mosque before Vincent and Riel could even get there. After arriving at Mosque, Proxy 1 goes to Amnesia, where Vincent's memory are. At this point, Proxy 1 does not want Vincent to regain his memories, and he kills Amnesia, leaving his pendant around his neck. After that, Vincent and Riel find that room with Vincent's pendant, and without succeeding in regaining Vincent's memories, they turn back to Romdo. Following the writings on the wall left by Proxy 1, they decide that Romdo is the place to find out the truth once and for all. On their way back, they meet another Proxy, the one who created Smile World, but they don't encounter him directly. This Proxy enters the mind of Pino, with intention to find out the weaknesses of Ergo Proxy. Failing that, he begs Pino to stop Vincent from coming to him, because they will have to fight until death. Pino succeeds in this, and here we can see her growth and development as a character. She can recognize lies from the truth, she can create paintings, and she can dream. Her name derives from Pinocchio, and Pino, with Cogito virus, is a pretty good replica of that story. Before reaching Romdo, Proxy 1 tries one last time to reach into the mind of Vincent, this time using Proxy Swan, who acts like a psychologist. There, Proxy 1 wants to find out what Vincent, or Ergo Proxy, wants the most in the world. And it turns out that what he wants the most is a family with Riel, Pino, and friends. A typically human wish. And that is not something that Proxy 1 or Proxy Swan want of Vincent. They try to convince Vincent that he is only a part of an illusion that is envisioned by Riel, that Vincent is just an imaginary part of a split personality. Luckily, they don't succeed in this, and Vincent quickly figures out what's going on. While our trio was traveling back to Rondo, we find out that Daedalus has lost his mind and made another copy of Monad, this time using Amrita cells. What he got this time is Real, which is a true clone of Monad Proxy. Not only that, Raoul realizes that the colony will not survive without a proxy present, and he forces Daedalus to finish his project, so that the people could survive even without their proxy. This project is ultimately unsuccessful, and it results in the death of 99% of Romdo population. When the trio finally arrives at Romdo, Vincent transforms into Ergo Proxy and goes for the original Monad. And he realizes that he killed her unintentionally. Also, he meets Riel for the first time. While that is happening, Proxy 1 goes to Dawn of Mayor and kills him in front of Riel. The statues that we're talking are Autoraves who are there to speak on Regent's behalf. Now that the Regent is dead, they are free to speak as they please. A conflict erupts, and Riel tries to kill Proxy 1, for whom she was thinking it was Vincent, not succeeding. After that, Vincent comes in his Ergo form. Vincent and Riel can finally find out what has been going on all this time. Now, Ergo Proxy regains all his memories, and Riel goes to Daedalus to try and stop him from destroying the colony. At that moment, Monad Proxy awakens in her clone, Real. She sprouts wings, white hair, and golden eyes. She takes Ergo Proxy by the hand and tries to fly off in the sunset with him, wanting them to be forever together. But Ergo Proxy rejects her because he knows he has a job to do, and that is to take revenge on the people from the Boomerang Star. But mostly he rejects her because of another woman. Ergo Proxy wants to spend his time with Riel and Pino. Monad Proxy, heartbroken and not wanting to see as Ergo Proxy fights the original humans, and also not wanting to see him living happily with another woman, flies off into the sun, which destroys her, exactly like in the myth of Daedalus and Icarus. It is interesting to note that Daedalus was betrayed by both Riel and Riel, both clones he created, and they both betrayed him for Vincent and Ergo Proxy, respectively. In the finale of the show, Ergo Proxy encounters Ergo 1. He explains to him a good chunk of the narrative, and they talk about philosophy of their personalities, in what way they are similar and dissimilar. After the fight, Proxy 1 dies, partly due to his injuries and in part because of the sun, which has finally started to shine. Luckily, Vincent, or Ergo Proxy, is immune to sunlight. Vincent survives and is picked up by Riel, Pino, and Kristeva. In the very last scene, Vincent opens his blue eyes, and as the skies are starting to become clear, we see ships of the Boomerang Star starting to appear coming back to Earth. He calls himself Ergo Proxy, the Agent of Death, and that is the end of the anime. What happens exactly after that is left on the viewer to interpret. Did Vincent have his revenge on the people from the Boomerang Star for their atrocities? Probably yes, but nothing is confirmed. It is entirely possible that he just picked up and left into a distant corner of Earth to live his life with Riel and Pino, thus rejecting his raison d'etre, which was forced upon him by Proxy 1. Maybe that is exactly what he did, rejecting a purpose of life that someone else is trying to force upon you, and creating your own raison d'etre would be a very human thing to do. Maybe exactly that would be the proof that Vincent surpassed his Proxy side. And then again, maybe he indeed became an agent of death and punished the people from the Boomerang Star with an apocalypse that only a Proxy could possibly create. Well, no matter what the ending was, this was the plot of Ergo Proxy. And that would be it for this episode. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to like, share and subscribe. Follow us on social networks. Check out other videos on the channel. See you next time. Bye bye.